That triangle you are looking at right now, that's a death cross. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly what that means and why our bot found it. Quick thing before we get into it. I'm opening the same Claude chat we used in episode 1. I'm not starting a fresh conversation. The reason is simple. The longer you keep a conversation going with Claude, the more context it builds up about your project. It already knows our folder structure, our libraries, everything we set up last time. So I'm picking up exactly where we left off, right here at the coffee analogy. Alright, so here's the prompt I'm giving Claude today. We built a Forex trading bot project in this chat. We downloaded and plotted 1 year of EURUSD data using Yahoo Finance. Now, I want to move to the next phase, building a moving average crossover strategy. Here is what I want. Calculate a 50-day and 200-day simple moving average on the EURUSD data we already have. Generate buy and sell signals based on the crossover. Buy when the 50-day crosses above the 200-day, sell when it crosses below. Plot the result showing the EURUSD price, both moving averages and the buy and sell signals clearly marked on the chart. Now, a moving average is basically a smoothened out version of the price. Instead of showing every single up and down, it shows you the general direction things are moving over a period of time. So, a 50-day moving average reacts fairly quickly to price changes. The 200-day moves slowly, it shows you the big picture trend. When the fast one crosses below the slow one, that's called a death cross. It signals the market may be turning bearish, turning downward. That's what we are looking for. Let's see what Claude does with this. And this is Claude thinking through what it needs to do before writing anything. It's figured out something I didn't even mention in the prompt. That to calculate a 200-day moving average, you actually need at least 200 days of past data just to get the first value. So, with only 1 year of data, you'd barely have anything meaningful to look at. So, Claude decided on its own to download 2 years of data instead. I didn't ask for that, it just worked it out, which honestly, a good call. And here's one of those moments that felt a bit unfamiliar the first time I saw it. Claude is asking for permission before writing to my computer. I'm clicking yes, allow all edits for this session, so it can get on with building without me having to approve every single file. And now it's just going. Writing the strategy file, running it, testing it, all happening right here. At one point, it hit a small error, fixed it on its own, and kept going. I didn't have to do anything. And here's what it came back with when it was done. It downloaded 516 days of EURUSD data, going all the way back to April 2024. Then it calculated both moving averages. Then it looked for crossover moments, the exact points where the trend shifted. Then it plotted everything and saved the chart. And the result, one sell signal April 17th, 2025, price 0.877. No buy signal yet, which means right now the 50-day is still sitting below the 200-day. The euro has been in a downtrend against the dollar and the bot caught it. Claude mentioned the chart was saved in the data folder, so I'm clicking on it right here and there it is, opening in a new tab inside VS Code. Right, so let's actually look at this properly. Three lines on this chart. The blue line is the real EURUSD price, every move, every drop, every recovery. The orange dashed line is the 50-day moving average. It follows the price but smoothened out. And the red dash dot line is the 200-day, much slower, showing the long-term direction. And what you can see very clearly is that from early 2025, the price just fell hard. The euro dropped significantly against the dollar over several months. And that orange line crossed below the red one, that's the death cross moment. Right there, that red triangle pointing down. That's the only signal the bot generated. One cell signal, and looking at chart, it wasn't wrong. I want to zoom into that signal for a second because this is actually the most interesting part. See how the 50-day crosses below the 200-day right around April 2025, and then the price continued dropping for months after that. The bot flagged that moment right when things were starting to turn. Now, this isn't a guarantee of anything. One signal on historical data doesn't mean this strategy is going to make money. That's exactly what backtesting is for, and that's coming in the next episode. But as a first result, I will take it. It found something real. Alright, before we wrap up, I want to push this to GitHub. Same as last time. I'm doing it through Claude, just telling it what we have built and asking it to commit and push. And Claude pushed it. But it also explained something I thought was worth sharing. The chart wasn't included in the push, and Claude explained why. The chart is a generated file. Every time you run the code, it's get recreated from scratch. So there is no point storing it in GitHub. It would just bloat the repository with large image files that change every single run. Only the code belongs in Git. That's the kind of thing I wouldn't have known to think about. But it makes complete sense when you hear it. And here it is, live on GitHub. The strategy file is sitting right there inside the source folder, strategy.py. Committed 5 minutes ago. Everything is on the main branch. MIT license is in place, all publicly available. Link is in the description as always. But the thing I actually want you to notice, look at the contributors. It says the Imperfect Algorithm and Claude. Claude is literally showing up as a co-author on my GitHub repository, which is honestly kind of perfect for this channel. That's episode 2 of the Imperfect Algorithm. We built a moving average crossover strategy. We found a dead cross on real EURUSD data and we pushed it all to GitHub. Next episode, we backtest this. We take that strategy and run it against the historical data to see how it would actually have performed. Would it have made money? Would it have lost money? I genuinely don't know yet. And that's exactly why we are doing this. See you in episode 3.